Howdy, folks. I'm a Roomba on the Moomba.
I'm Amber.
And here's some Reddit. Alright, folks, our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Uninviting My Friend and His Wife from Christmas Dinner after discovering that she slept with my husband? I'm a 42-year-old female, and 11 years ago, my husband, Will, a 44-year-old male, had an affair with a younger woman. He admitted to it after she told him that she was pregnant, though, and it ended in a miscarriage. Until recently, I had no idea who she was, as he wouldn't say who she was. I've been working with Spencer, a 41-year-old male, for nearly 17 years, and we are best friends. There are no secrets between us, or at least that's what I thought. He's married to Eleanor, a 33-year-old female. They have been together for 9 years, married for 8. It has recently come out that Eleanor is the woman that Will slept with. It came out because I had wrongly thought that Will was cheating again. And he countered with that it was possible for him to have to be friends with the woman and not slept with them, as he was friends with Eleanor and hadn't slept with her again. He then admitted that Eleanor had been the one that he slept with. I was hurt that he hadn't said anything before we had become good friends with her and allowing Spencer to get involved with a woman who was happy to sleep with a married man. When I saw Spencer at lunch the following week, I told him about Eleanor and Will. Spencer wasn't shocked at what I told him. He already knew. He had known for 9 years. Eleanor had told him after the first time that we had a double date. She was single at the time, and she had no idea that Will was married. As far as Spencer was concerned, it was more Will that was at fault than Eleanor, but I see them as equally being at fault. Spencer said that he hadn't told me because he didn't see the point in opening up old wounds, as we had worked past Will's cheating. Eleanor hadn't said anything for the same reason. I sent Eleanor an angry text telling her that I knew about her cheating with my husband and that I didn't want her coming around anymore. I told her that I didn't trust her and that she should have told me that she slept with my husband. Eleanor just replied with, I understand and I'm sorry for any hurt that I've caused you and your family. She's not responded to any other message that I've sent her about wanting to know more about her cheating with my husband. We were meant to be having Spencer, Eleanor, and their kids around for Christmas, as it was our turn to host. Today, I've told Spencer that I don't want Eleanor to come, and I have uninvited her. Spencer and the kids are still invited. He said that if Eleanor is not welcome, then they will not be coming and thinks that I'm being unreasonable. He also said that he knows that I'm upset, but hopes that we can move past this. Will is upset that I uninvited them, as he thinks it will ruin Christmas for our kids not getting to see their friends as planned. Plus, we have far too much food for a family of 4. Will thinks that I'm overreacting, as I was fine with Eleanor before I found out. Am I the jerk for not wanting to help Eleanor at our Christmas? I just don't think I can see her anymore, knowing that she's the one that my husband cheated with. Alright, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
This one's a really tough one, and I'm going to go with a little bit of everyone's a jerk here, but OP less so.
This one I do agree is hard. It seems like Eleanor didn't actually know.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like, it seems like Eleanor didn't know that she was cheating. And so
Yeah.
it seems like a lot of OP's anger is directed at the wrong person here,
Yeah.
and that's where I think he misstepped OP. You're singling out Eleanor when she had adult activities with someone she thought was a single man, and
Yeah.
turned out he wasn't.
Yeah. And
And
that's where really where I have a hard time with this one. I think that OP has every right to feel hurt.
mhm,
OP has every right to feel like she's been left out of
mhm.
this whole circle. But everyone else has had 9 years to process this.
Exactly.
And OP just found out, right?
Right. Well, and that's the thing, is like, everyone else is a jerk. Eleanor, your husband, Spencer, for keeping this from you for all these years.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have done that. That was wrong of them. But you really have to, like, Eleanor and Spencer are about equally culpable. They both
Yeah.
kept this from
Yeah.
you for all that time. If Eleanor legitimately did not know your husband was
Yeah,
married.
yeah. And I mean, as far as we're aware, we don't have any reason to doubt that, right?
And so they both did something bad. And if you want to cut Eleanor off, you really should cut off Spencer as well for that, because they're equal in that betrayal.
Yeah, this is again really difficult because like he Spencer does have a point about opening up old wounds, but OP also, sometimes people are less happy when they find out the truth, and seems like one of those cases where OP would have been perfectly happy to have never known the actual truth,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really unfortunate because it seems like she's still very hurt by this whole
Mm-hmm.
thing. And with her whole "I don't trust you," I think that's
It is
misplaced, right?
misplaced. Like the
Because her husband's the one who needs to be not trusted.
exactly.
Eleanor didn't even know that he was married.
Right. And if you trust your husband now, then there's no reason not to trust him
Well,
being
she
around
doesn't,
Eleanor. Well,
right?
that's the problem. If you don't trust your husband, you have a husband problem
Yeah.
that you need to resolve. Either don't be with him anymore or get some serious therapy to a point where you can trust him.
Yeah. And I do think that Spencer has a really good point here that if you're going to invite one, you have to invite them all, right? It's like, it's just the way it is. You can't invite Spencer. Spencer is, again, like you said, Amber, as culpable about the situation as Eleanor is. I mean, because Eleanor is in some ways a victim of this as well because she didn't know that she was cheating or, in this situation, in the position of being the other woman. So I do agree that this is a hard situation.
And it's fine if you want to take a break from all these people, but
Yeah.
I think it needs to be you have to stop taking it all out on Eleanor. That's where you went wrong, OP, is that you're
Mm-hmm.
putting all your blame on Eleanor. And yes, her actions did hurt you, and it's okay to feel hurt about that. But you have to remember your husband is the one who made a conscious decision to cheat on you.
Yeah. So I really feel that this is like the husband's problem, right? He created this. He needs to figure out something from here. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Why are women so quick to forgive their husbands but want to take it out on other women? Would love specifics on for you and your situation. And OP replies, I forgive Will after we attended therapy. I think the problem I'm having is Eleanor is that I now know that she's the affair partner, and it's a physical reminder every time I see her. And I mean I think that's a valid and legitimate thing for OP. Is like, yeah, she knows this now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a pretty terrible situation. All right, folks, our next letter is titled, Will I be a jerk if I confronted my brother about a joke that he made during my wedding ceremony? I'm a 24-year-old female and I just got married to a 31-year-old male, my husband. This is my second marriage and my husband's first. I chose to leave my first marriage. I married very young at 19 because my ex husband became extremely abusive. Police had to be involved, a domestic violence protective order was put in place, he had multiple court orders, etc. Anyways, my brother, a 31-year-old male, is a marriage officiant. He married me and my ex husband. I asked him to marry me again and my now husband. My brother knows that I was abused by my first husband. Well, wedding day comes, and a few days before this, he sends me a copy of the wedding script. It was simple and sweet, and I approved it. Unbeknownst to me, my brother decided to change the script the morning of and add a joke into the beginning of the ceremony. He said, and I quote, For most people, marriage is a lifelong commitment, but here we are a second time, and because you're my sister, I'll give you a lemon.
Ugh.
I was instantly mortified and heartbroken. I was standing there with all my family watching. Some of my husband's family didn't even know that I was previously married. I kept it this way on purpose. It got tiring explaining the abuse. And my brother makes a joke about my previous marriage that I and my kids were abused in. I half chuckled with upset tears in my eyes, and my husband told him just to continue the ceremony after no one laughed in the audience. Will I be the jerk if I confronted him about the joke? It's been over 2 months since the wedding and I'm still hurt over the joke. I believe he meant it to be funny, but it came out awkward and hurtful and makes me question if he actually is happy for me in my second marriage. Alright folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. What your brother did is very hurtful. You had
Yeah.
every right to be upset by this. He took what was a very painful thing for you and tried to make it into some sort of joke or snub.
Yeah, well, and I think that he really he did not read the room,
Mm-hmm.
right? He
Well,
this was putting OP at the butt end of a joke.
Well, and he had sent you a script in advance. If you wanted to change it, he should have let you know in advance that he was going to make this joke
Yeah.
and gotten your approval. It sounds like he may even, I'm guessing he may even have known that you wouldn't like it if he didn't have it in there for your approval.
That's what I'm kind of wondering. I'm wondering if either one, he knew that OP wouldn't like it, or if two, he thought it wouldn't be as funny if she knew about it. Because, like, she makes a comment in the comments below that he's a very kind-hearted person and she wouldn't have ever expected this out of him. And so she thinks that he was just actually trying to be nice. And I think that confronting him about this, like, he should have already approached her and talked to her and apologized about this. So why hasn't he done that? Right?
Well, and that's the thing. It's like sometimes you try to be funny, but you inadvertently hurt someone else. It's still your responsibility to own up to it.
Yeah.
And like, OP, you have every right to convey to him that you're still hurt by this.
I agree. Like, it's a very hurtful thing. He shouldn't have said it. He should have put it in the script if that's what he wanted to do. And then OP could have approved or disapproved it, and that would have avoided everything. So again, no surprises at weddings. I don't know how many times we have to say this, but no surprises at weddings. Anyhow, take care and good luck. And Do Operation 708 says, info. What do you want to come from confronting him? Do you want to vent? Yell? It's okay if you feel that you do, although it might not be helpful if you do. Do you want an apology? And OP replies, I think an apology is what I would look for. My brother is actually a very nice person and a great guy, which is why it was so surprising to hear such a joke from him. He doesn't have a mean bone in his body. I believe that he was trying to be funny and didn't realize how it sounded until he said it. I feel like I need to just tell him that it was hurtful and embarrassing and that it was inappropriate. I'm not angry, I'm just hurt and embarrassed. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I have some tea here, courtesy of Amber. Now I can't say that word anymore. Thanks, Amber. I don't know. Courtesy of Amber, yes. And she has a joke.
Why was the famous musician arrested?
Well, it's a tragedy, actually. You see, the famous musician, he had a wife and everything was going great. And
Then he was framed by Bernard the Unhinged.
no, he wasn't framed by Bernard the Unhinged, but he was framed, right? She actually fled and faked her own death, so she was actually quite alive. The police, arrested him. They threw him in jail. He spent half a decade in jail before she was actually found, and he was exonerated. But I mean, it was still a tragedy. He lost all that time. The police planted evidence on him. I mean, it was just a mess. It was a scandal, and yeah, that's why.
He got in trouble.
He got in trouble, exactly like what I said. He got into a lot of trouble, but he wasn't actually at fault. A lot of people when they go to jail, at least this is what I hear, they always say that they're innocent, and he was innocent. He met a lot of interesting people in jail. He played music for them. It was a good time, except for not really, because it was still jail. And I have Mega Mint tea. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you're all having a great Wednesday, a hump day, a Friday Junior's Eve. I hope that it's kind of like going smoothly for you. We've reached the peak of the week, and then from here we're gonna coast, right? I don't know, maybe not coast, but we'll reach the end. So I hope you're all doing great, and I will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.